God Frigga Dagr. Winter nights have arrived. I think we can recollect on the past year. So the past year has not been without its challenges. Nearly to the moment as I'm recording this, 1 year ago today, and this is a little bit self-indulgent. I had suffered the worst injury I've ever suffered in my life to this point. I hope I don't suffer anything worse. When my, the quadricep on my left leg decided to divorce itself from my knee, and it took a little chunk of knee with it. So, the past year, I've literally last Friday, I got signed off at the doctor's. I'll be returning to full-time work on the 1st of November. My job is, I am a floor layer, so as injuries go, it was the kind of injury that makes you question everything about how you're going to go forward with your life. When something like that comes across your path, you've got to wonder what the norms have in mind for you, or how this affects your journey, your capacity to travel, to make that journey. Or is it an obstacle? Is it a moment to reflect, to take on board, I would say, perspectives that you might not ordinarily consider? Thinking back, it was very much dealing with everything in the present time. It was both a long and a short day. From being put into the ambulance to going to the hospital, my wife and my father-in-law arriving, that was almost like the cavalry arriving, for want of a better phrase, because I'd been on my own prior to that. Finding out what I'd done, what would be required to fix me, gratitude, grateful that I could be fixed. It's one of those things that during the process of my recovery, as little as maybe 25 years ago, I might not have been fixed. Certainly when you have a deep interest in history, you can reflect that, there would have been a time that this was an injury that could not have been fixed. I would never have walked again. For all the attention and pressure that is put on the NHS, I can't fault them. I feel that I was, injury aside, very lucky, and that from this day a year ago to really my last hospital visit at the end of January this year, so over a 3-month period, the NHS were fantastic. I had been seeking prior to my accident, ways to feel closer to 4. I'd always been respectful that a lot of people call upon him for protection, and that as gods go, he's quite a busy god. He's the defender of Midgard, amongst other things. And that's one of those things that I suppose I did reach out to 4. Connected to the rune Urus, and they were, a part of my, certainly the first 3 months of my journey through my injury. And even, last week when Heathens of Kent, we got together to celebrate winter nights, I still have a maiden offering to 4. Offering something I've never, I've never cut up before, I've never cooked before, never eaten before. I know it's probably something, it's one of his favoured sort of meats, animals to devour, to eat, to feast from. So I think, I'd like to think the choice was a good one. And I feel, as a journey with getting to know the gods better, this past year has been very enlightening. Some things to take in across this winter. That there is a delicate act in connection to them broadly and connecting to different gods individually. I am still Odin's man. Still have my connections to Frigg, and I look back and reflect that at the time of my injury, I can't overlook that I was making videos recounting Skirnir's tale, his journey, which even now, cautiously, I think is not a very flattering tale. And yet again, regarding the gods, there are aspects to understand and paths to walk cautiously. Most people, I'm not going to say everyone, a lot of people will say that the Aesir, they're not necessarily good gods. They're not necessarily bad gods. They are what they are. And there are times that you may have things you would probably not prefer to have put upon you. I think it comes down to, it's how you face these things that mark the strength of your character. You know, it's not the end result, it's not the start, it's, and you know, the how you played the game, how you have lived your life. Have you done your best to be the best you? I don't have that answer at the moment. I'm still, you know, looking, still trying. I'm reminded of the Richard Bach book Illusions, that there is a time to know if your tasks are completed, and if you are still alive, then they are not. Oh, enough rambling, you know. Happy anniversary to my injury. You know, I've now done in the past couple of days some flooring, and that is a victory. My little boo-boos on my hands, you know, getting back to doing flooring. You know, these are all things I expect to experience. And their pains, you know, my knees are a little bit sore, but it's tender sore. They're nothing. In many ways, they are, you know, the things I've got to push through to get back to some sense of normality, you know. Get over myself. Let's get back to it. There's work to be done. If you listened, thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.